welcome. It's great to be here representing the University of Arizona, particularly speaking on behalf of the new coaching staff and I. We're very excited to be at the U of A, excited to be part of the Pac-12. I think it's exciting times for us. I'm excited to work with our guys. It's also a very exciting time for the Pac-12. As many of you know, I think the coaches in the league are some of the best in the country, some of the best players in the country. I think the league has done a fantastic job in raising the profile of the Pac-12, and we'll see that over the next several years. And I've been really appreciative of all the U of A folks that have welcomed myself, my family, and our coaches' families, all the new coaches' families down to Tucson, Arizona.
Okay, we'll go ahead and take questions. Down here on the right, far right.
John Crumpacker, San Francisco Chronicle. Rich, do you believe your offensive scheme will fit better in the Pac-12 than it did at Michigan for you?
You know, of course I'm biased. I think it could fit anywhere. And I think schemes are sometimes overrated from a standpoint of, does a scheme win you ball games or lose you ball games? I think he's got to have good players that are executing well no matter what you're doing. And do I think what we do is a good fit in this league? I think it does, but I think it's a good fit in any league. I think the best thing for us is that, I think all of my experiences, and before somebody asked the question, I think all of my experiences in coaching, whether it was at Michigan or West Virginia or Clemson or places before that, Glenville State and all the places I've been, I think I've tried to learn from all of them and learn from the good and the bad. And I think the coaching staff's the same way. I want our players to get better every year and learn from everything they do, and I think the coaching staff, myself included, have tried to do that as well. And I think going forward, it's been the past year in TV, and thoroughly enjoyed that. It was a great experience, but I think I'm ready to get back on the sidelines.
In the back right, first row of the stands.
Nick Hamilton, this question is actually for Coach Rodriguez. Coach, what influenced you to join the Pac-12 conference coming from the Big Ten?
Well, I think for myself, it was a great opportunity. I wanted to get back on the sidelines, but I just didn't want to jump to any place. I wanted to be in this place that I thought could be special, and that you could build a championship program, raise your family, and have a great environment to be in. And I think all that was met at the U of A. Greg Byrne, our athletic director, I'd known for a few years, and he did a terrific job. I'd never visited Tucson. The first time I was in Tucson was the day of my press conference. But he did, I'd been to Arizona quite a few times. I'd followed the program, I know Mike Stoops for quite some time, and so I knew a little bit about what the U of A was about before I took the job. But Greg did a great job explaining it, and I think everything that we got going on with our new Lowell Stevens football facility that's getting built to be done next year. I think the players are hungry. I think the town is hungry. I think the university is hungry for success. And we've been close before. One of the guys that I reached out to early was Dick Tomey, who had great success at the U of A in the mid-'90s, and he was close. But yet something kept us from going over the top, whether it was facilities or commitment, what have you. And I think those things are now in place. So we've got to do our job as coaches. Our players got to do their jobs. And I think it's going to be a collective effort to take us to a place where we can win championships and compete for championships each and every year, and we can do that at U of A.
Question in the back row in the middle.
Hi, Coach. Sarah Cazell, Pac-12 Networks. We have a couple questions for you. We've been collecting from Facebook and Twitter for the fans. So first for you, Coach, from Chris Hughes on Facebook, what is the one change you've made within the Arizona football program that will be the most noticeable for the fans?
Gosh, I think anytime a new coaching staff comes in, there's going to be a lot of transitional changes that the players will learn, and the staff will learn as well. I think maybe the biggest difference is how fast we like to play. I think there's been a lot of success with some teams in our league here and some teams throughout the country that play at a fast tempo. We like to pride ourselves on that. We've been doing it for a long time in the system, so it's really the only way that we know how to coach it for the last 20 years. And so for the players, I think Matt and Jake could probably talk to it just from spring practice, that our tempo is picked up a little bit. We're trying to play a little bit faster, and I think also I would like to think that our fans, when they watch our team each and every Saturday or whenever we play, that they'll see a bunch of guys that play as hard as they can on every snap. And that takes a great commitment. They got to be in great shape, and so conditioning is a big part of what we talk about, what we try to do each and every day.
Okay, one more question for Matt Scott. This is from Michael Tibialt on Twitter. He asks, looking back at Arizona quarterbacks like Nick Foles and Willie Tuitama, it was hard for them to shine on the national scene. How will you step up and make yourself known as an elite quarterback, not only in the Pac-12, but also nationally?
I think just a big part of quarterback position is just coming prepared to every game. That's a big part of the quarterback position is just being prepared mentally and physically. Like Coach Rich was talking about, we've been doing a lot of conditioning and really getting in shape. I can honestly say my endurance has gotten a lot better, and just grown a lot as a player since he's been here. So I'm just excited for this opportunity and can't wait to get started.
Okay, on the far left.
Coach Rodriguez, Tom Fitzgerald, San Francisco Chronicle. As a person who's coached against Penn State, I was curious what you felt about the sanctions that were announced yesterday. They were the first time a school has received that kind of punishment from the NC2A for criminal behavior. Do you think the sanctions were fair, first of all, and what lessons do you think other schools could learn from the wrongdoings of Penn State?
Well, I think all football coaches, anybody involved in intercollegiate athletics and beyond that, has probably looked at that case and tried to learn from that case. And I think Penn State's certainly going through that now. It's a tough situation. There's no question about it. When you get hit with the scholarship reduction, when you get hit with the loss of the bowls, and obviously the monetary fine, it's going to be tough for that school to recover. But nothing is nearly as tough as what those victims went through. So as tough as the situation is for them, they'll recover. It may take some time, but they got a great coaching staff. Bill O'Brien will do a terrific job. They've got a terrific university, a great community, and I've been there many times. I was there as a player, was there as an assistant coach, and there as a head coach competing against them. So they'll be able to rally. Will it take them? Are they taking a hit? Will it take some years? Probably will. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and I think the lessons go beyond athletics. It's more than an athletic issue. It's a societal issue, and hopefully everybody can learn from that and be better going forward.
In the center.
Rashawn Haylock, Fox Sports West. Matt, what was last year like for you, and what was that process like, just going through the whole redshirt process?
It was a real humbling experience for me. As in high school, you come out to college as that guy. You've always been that starter, and it was real tough for me to sit on the sideline and watch the team play. I feel like I wasn't really contributing to the team's success, as little success that we had. But I was just it was real humbling for me. I'm excited to get back out there, like I said, and I don't ever want to be in that position again.
Best decision that coaching staff made. Redshirt mascot last year. We're fortunate he's here with us.
Thanks, Coach.
Down here in the left, second row.
Yeah, Andrew John, LA Times. Hey, Coach, just wanted to ask you, you did right here.
Down the left.
You've talked about the importance of the conditioning with your offense especially. What has the staff done to prepare these guys going into the season? And if Jake, if you could talk about what the players have done to kind of implement what the staff has done.
Okay. You want Jake, go ahead first.
Well, everyone's working hard. There's kind of a new attitude surrounding the football program. Everyone's working, as hard as I've seen them work. Just the work mentality came in with the coaching staff and the strength coaches. And, everyone's giving it their all every day. I'm very proud of that, and I believe that's going to take us places.
And I'll speak on behalf of the coaches that, we'll make it clear that, Coach Stoops and his staff they're terrific coaches, and Mike, they have a lot of experienced coaches on that staff, and they work the kids very hard. But what we'll do is simply different. What we ask our players to do from a conditioning standpoint is a little bit different. So no matter who, what coaching staff that was here before us, and they had a very good coaching staff before I got there, it was going to be different because of what we require our players to do in our systems, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. We do things a little bit differently. So the conditioning level has to be increased, and our players had to make a commitment to it. And I think, if you ask our players when when it was evident we weren't going to be in a bowl game last year, toward the end of October, November, even though they played hard in some of the games at the end of the season, they probably didn't train like an elite athlete is supposed to train over the last, this November and December. And I hope it was a lesson that our guys learned that, elite athletes, which I consider Division I football players to be elite athletes, you never take more than 2 weeks off if you really want to excel at the highest level. And hopefully I think our players learn from that lesson and we can be better going forward.
Okay, we've got one over here on the right.
Question for Jake. Having played against Oregon's spread option the last few years, can you compare and contrast to the offense that Coach Rodriguez is installing?
Every practice felt like we were playing against Oregon. Yeah, it was. They go very fast. There's periods where they try to get as many snaps in as possible, and a lot of the times you're running back to the huddle. You're running back to the line of scrimmage, and they're already snapping the ball. So you got to kind of think on your feet. And you got to be quick with with your judgment and everything. And I believe that's really going to get us prepared to play Oregon. There's so many similarities and everything. So it's going to be good preparation. And also it's just, just the speed of it gets you, thinking on your feet a little more, and you're able to kind of conjure up things in your head a lot faster. And it's just, like I said, it's great preparation for the season.
Down here on the left, front row.
Jake, Ryan Finley, Arizona Daily Star in Tucson. Talk about the 3-3-5 defense and sort of what you've learned from it so far, and how is that maybe unique in terms of trying to stop the spread, as prevalent as that is, especially in the Pac-12?
The 3-3-5, it's, at first you think it's a little different, but I mean, all defenses are basically the same. It's just we have more ways to kind of, dial up blitzes. We don't have a fourth down lineman, so you got to go downhill, extremely hard. And, stopping the spread, it's hard to stop all of those, spread offenses in the Pac-12. But, I mean, any defense really can, you can slow down these teams, but I don't think you can completely stop them. We're just going to, run to the ball. We're going to play as hard as we can, and hopefully it turns out in our favor.
Back row, center.
This is for Matt Scott. What's it like for you to be able to run the spread option again, a system which you thrived in high school?
It's like a dream come true, I guess you could say. Had a lot of fun with this offense in high school, put up big numbers, and I'm ready to do the same here.
Question in the center.
Rich, is Jonathan McKnight fully ready to go for the beginning of practices? And following up a little bit on what that is, with the questions of the depth at quarterback, are you going to, is Matt as much a running option as you'd like him to be?
Yeah, I'll answer the last question first. Matt can run, he can throw, obviously, and Matt's a very competitive guy. Will we run him as much as some other guys in the past? I don't know. I hope we don't have to, but we'll do what it takes to win ball games, and I know Matt's willing to do that. We'll protect him more because he's the only guy that's got any experience. But at the same time, we got to run our system, and Matt's got to be smart about it. And when certain hits are inevitable, I don't think he's going to slide, but he can avoid the big hit on occasion. But we'll be able to do a lot of our offense with Matt, and we'll try to protect him at times. But we got to let Matt be Matt and run our system. What was the first question? Jonathan McKnight. You see, I'm starting to age myself. But Jonathan McKnight had a pretty good spring. He went through a lot of stuff. He didn't go through full contact. Was still protecting his knee, but his knee's 100%. We'll probably still limit him a little bit of contact and some live stuff in August, but he should be good to go September 1st in our opening game against Toledo.
Far right, question, far right.
Lisa Horn, Fox Sports. A lot of people criticize the spread system as being somewhat detrimental in the NFL. It doesn't really prepare the quarterback. Mm-hmm. How do you respond to that, and what does the spread system do for quarterbacks that many people may not know about?
Yeah, I always find that kind of comical because people use it against you in recruiting that they want to play in a quote-unquote pro-style offense. And the last I watched the NFL games, particularly the teams that are winning championships and all that, 90% of the time they're in a shotgun. You know, I think, you know, talking about quarterbacks learning how to go under center and do a 3-step drop. I could teach a quarterback in 5 minutes. My son Red here, he's 14 years old. He learned it when he was 9 years old to take a 3-step drop. You know, what's harder is to get in the shotgun and learn how to catch and throw it quickly without the laces. And so I think college quarterbacks, particularly guys that are coming out of the spread, are more prepared in a lot of ways than those so-called pro-style quarterbacks, because they, in a spread offense, quarterbacks learn to get rid of the football quickly. They have to see the whole field. You know, I think they really learn offense. And if you look who's being drafted and who's having success, you know, Cam Newton looked like he had pretty good success right off the bat. I think a lot of the quarterbacks been drafted early. They draft you because you can play, not particularly because of what system you come out of. And again, if you look at Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, it looks like to me they're in a shotgun and spread offenses quite a bit in the NFL. So maybe the new pro style is a shotgun spread. You know, maybe that should be considered pro style now, and the other one isn't. But I think if you can play, you can play. Matt Barkley's in a different system, but Matt Barkley's a tremendous player. He's going to be maybe the first pick in the draft because he can play irregardless of what system that you're going to be in.
Question here in
Did
the
I
center.
answer the question?
Question in the center.
Yeah, Jake, with the loss of Brian Wagner this summer, how's the linebacking core kind of adapted to that? And what other challenges are you guys facing with some of the thinness that you have on the roster?
I mean, him leaving, you know, we were disappointed in that, but, you know, it's going to be kind of hard to replace that just because he was such a smart player. And, I mean, he could play. And at that middle linebacker position, you need somebody that's very smart, who's capable of checking plays and, you know, just directing the D-line where they need to go on blitzes and stunts and, you know, whatnot. So, but, I mean, we got young guys that, you know, they're hungry to learn. They're hungry to play. You know, the young guys, they're in there watching film all the time. So, I mean, I like what we got right now. You know, they just need to step up. A couple freshmen last year who had to step in and fill a role and play right away. So they have some big game experience, and we're looking forward to them doing big things.
Okay, we've got time for one more question.
Brian Golden, Sports USA Radio Network. Coach Rodriguez, we're looking forward, straight up in the middle in front of you here.
Oh,
we're looking forward
hi.
to carrying your game nationally September 8th with Oklahoma State. How important are those intersectional matchups like that to make the case for Pac-12 prestige?
Well, I think our league is making the case already, but if you look certainly this year and I think over the next several years at our league schedules, I think there's a lot of interesting intersectional matchups against other big schools and big leagues, and I think our league will do very well in those. I think they've done well, but I think, you know, not just the new TV deals and the exposure our league is going to get going forward, but I think the success of our teams that they're going to have in those matchups are going to go bode well for our national respect. I think our league has been very good, but maybe not been as highlighted or as featured because only one league has won the national championship the last 6 years. I think you're going to see going forward more than just 3 or 4 teams in our league finish in the top 25 and win a lot of those big games. I don't know where we're at yet, and we've got to do our part, but I think our game against Oklahoma State, some of other teams are playing Ohio State and LSU and some of those. I think that's going to be exciting, and I think it's going to show the talent and the ability of our programs in the Pac-12 this year and going forward.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Assisting Wildcat football today from the Arizona Sports Information Office, Molly O'Malley.